how do we look at our lives and deal with the emotions that we are not really enjoying, the hard feelings that we've got. What is a sensible, pleasure-oriented way of dealing with these bad feelings? They feel bad to us. The first thing to do is to go upstream and to look at the thoughts that created the bad feelings, or that create bad feelings. Most of the time, these thoughts are about expectations and people not living up to our expectations. So, for instance, if we keep having thoughts that our parents didn't do the job they should have done, and we're still holding some residual anger or resentment towards our parents, then we are looking at our parents not living up to the expectations that we created long after our childhood about how things should have been, which is a form of insanity, of course, because our parents did the best they could given their circumstances, and we have been dealt a hand of cards that we can play any way we like. But if we spend our time complaining about our hand, then we'll never have any joy whatsoever. So it's important to get rid of those ideas that we have that things should have been different, and they weren't, and we're unhappy about that. So if we can get rid of those feelings by changing our thoughts, by recognizing that there's a certain silliness in going back and saying that things should have been different, they weren't, so fine, then we get used to it. So we can get rid of a lot of hard feelings immediately. That simple way. Same goes for heartache, for times when we feel that somebody broke our heart and we're not supposed to do that. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm sure they didn't set out to break our hearts, but we had these expectations that they were going to love us, perhaps forever, and they didn't. Oops. Well, it's not their job to. We need to remember that the love that we're looking for, this great, unconditional, totally nurturing, totally abiding love, comes from us, and only us. That's the only place that it really comes from. Other people can show us what it feels like, but, basically, they're going to be fairly lousy at giving us the love we want. That's our job. So we forgive them for being who they are and doing what they do, which simply means accepting that they are living a different life and we live our life. We learn to love ourselves in the way that we want. And so these hard feelings that we're dealing with turn out to be creations of our own. So if we can learn how we are the ones who are creating the situation that has these bad feelings, then we can get rid of those feelings basically before they show up. Anything that is showing up as a feeling does need to be felt. Fine. And we just simply relax, take a breath, feel them. Sometimes it takes a little while to feel them all the way through and to learn the lesson from these feelings. But once they are fully felt, they disappear, they just evaporate. It's fascinating. And we feel good again. So, yes, we do need to feel the feelings that we have. But it's also important to remember that most of these feelings are there because of thoughts that we created, and we are experiencing the feelings that come from those thoughts. The other major source of hard, bad feelings, of course, is our own criticism. Criticizing ourselves with the theory of making us better just makes us feel bad. And it doesn't work, doesn't do anything useful. So we want to get rid of all the self-criticism and just accept who we are.